Welcome to the Good Girls Get Rich podcast with your host, Karen Yankovich. This is where we embrace how good you are, girl. Stop being the best kept secret in town. Learn how to use simple LinkedIn and social media strategies and make the big bucks.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here with you today. It's been a while since I did a podcast recap, so I want to get back in the habit of doing this. If you don't know me, my name is Karen Yankovich, and we are broadcasting live right now on LinkedIn, on my free Facebook group that you are welcome to join. You can check that out at linkedinforwomencommunity.com, and Twitter. It's been a while since I broadcast, like post Periscope days, right? I'm on Twitter, so we'll see how that goes. Twitter is a little bit of the wild west for me when we're going live, but we'll see, right? Worth giving a shot. So I have a podcast. I'm the host of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast, and this week we had episode 181 came out, which, like, holy crap, how can we be at 181 episodes, right? So I'm excited about that. I'm also coming on the heels of the She Podcast Conference. My team and I, and my students and I were all at the She Podcast Conference a couple of weeks ago in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it really reminded me how I need to pay better attention to my podcast. It comes out every week, but, I really like doing this. I really like getting a chance to kind of give you a recap every week of what we did on the podcast. So that is what we're doing here today. So good morning, Sherry. Good to see you here. So if you're live, drop in your comments and I'm happy to respond to them live. If not, drop in your comments and I'll get to them when I get notified of your replay. So the title of this week's episode of Good Girls Get Rich was Connecting versus Reconnecting on LinkedIn. And Nikki, hey, I don't know if you guys have seen this, Sherry or Nikki, but if you got a chance to listen to this week's episode, but it was one that I kind of can't believe I haven't done sooner because, I teach LinkedIn marketing. Like, that's what I do, right? And it's really, LinkedIn is the tool, right? LinkedIn is the tool that we use to grow our businesses, to build relationships. And, when I talk to people, when I say that to people are like, oh, LinkedIn, all I get is spam on LinkedIn. People are just spamming me. Everybody's trying to sell me something. And I get that. I get those same messages that you get, right? And my response to them always is, okay, well, tell me, when was the last time you messaged someone on LinkedIn? Like, oh, well, I don't use LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, well, that's why your inbox is full of spam, because you're not having any authentic, real conversations with people. I mean, listen, we have learned over the past 2 years of however long we've been dealing with this pandemic, the value of our DMs, right? The value of our DMs. On LinkedIn, it's even more valuable. My LinkedIn inbox is the most valuable piece of real estate in my business, because that is where all the business is happening. So when people say to me, it's all spam, I'm like, all right, well, that means you're just being reactive and you're not being proactive. So to me, I'm looking for people to build relationships. But here's the thing. I never, ever, ever want you to be cold calling people. Right. I never, ever, ever want you to be reaching out to people cold, because that's what people are doing to you. And that's what's annoying you. And I don't want you to be like those annoying people. Sherry just got back from a business trip. Awesome. I'd love to hear about it. I hope it was awesome. I hope you made lots of connections and you connected with them all on LinkedIn. Right. Nikki was just virtually at a conference with us at the Scottsdale conference I mentioned a little while ago. And Nikki, I think, came in fourth on the leaderboard of making connections at this conference. So Nikki took what we taught her on LinkedIn, right? Make connections, build authentic connections. And she pulled LinkedIn out of the picture, dropped in the app for the conference, and, knew exactly what to do to build relationships. She's got podcast interviews, books. So cool. Anyway, I digress. Connecting versus reconnecting. So one of the things, before you even get to building your network, right? And I want you to build your network, and I want you to find warm ways to build your network. And I know that I've done an episode on that, right? I know that I've done an episode on building, how to find, whoops, hold on one second. Let me fix this. We want episode 181. Give me 1 second here. If you want to listen to this episode, check it out. There we go. Nikki, these are all the cool things StreamYard can do, because Nikki and I were talking about StreamYard yesterday. So anyway, one of the things that, that I want you to do is build your network. All right. LinkedIn is a great way to build your network. We hear our whole lives, we've heard it's not what you know, it's who you know. And of course, I think it's also what you know. Like, you need to know what you're talking about, but we can create the who you know, right? We can create who you know on LinkedIn. We can build a network full of people that can change our business, our lives, and our bank account. And I know it can happen. It's happening for my students. It happens for me every single day, right? Like Sherry and Nikki that are on here. Like, I wouldn't know you guys if it wasn't for LinkedIn, right? So I love that LinkedIn brought us together. But there's gold in them there hills, right? That comes before you even get to that. How do I build my network? And that is, who are you already connected to? Who is in your LinkedIn network now that you haven't talked to in a while? And I get a lot of pushback on this. So if you're hearing me say this and you're like, oh, Karen, it's all the people I used to work with, or God, nobody in there is of any value, I beg to differ. When I work with people, whether it's privately or in my She's Linked Up program, the first strategy conversation we have is all around looking into your existing network. And it isn't about looking into your existing network and saying, hey, Mary, it's Karen. We haven't talked in a while. You should buy my stuff. Like, that's not what I want you to do, right? But maybe the message is, hey, Mary, wow, can you believe it's been 2 years since we were at that conference? What a 2 years this has been, right? I'd love to catch up and reconnect and hear how things are going for you, right? Isn't that a much better message than pushing out, maybe you want my services, maybe you want my products. Let me do a website review for you. Have you looked at your SEO? Like, I don't want those messages. If I want that stuff, I'm going to do research and I'm going to find the best person for it, right? But if I'm reconnecting with people that I'm already connected to on LinkedIn with a message similar to that, it may be, wow, Joe, I don't know how we're connected here on LinkedIn, but I was just poking through my network and your name popped out at me. I don't really know how we connected in the first place, but it looks like you're doing some really cool things. I'd love to hear more about them. Are you open for, a quick virtual coffee, right? If you are doing that every week to 1 or 2, no more than 5 people, and I say no more than 5 people because you're going to get responses to this. You're going to get responses to this. People are going to say, sure, let's talk. I want to hear about what you're doing too, right? And when you have these conversations, by the way, that's what the conversation is. Tell me what you're up to and tell me how I can help you. And then when they say, tell me what you're up to and tell me what I can help you with, listen, if you've done your homework right, you're going to say, well, I'm looking for, in my case, I look for smart, successful women who are looking to elevate their success, amplify their voices, amplify their impact in the world, and create a brand around themselves that impacts their business, their life, and their bank accounts, right? So I will talk to them about that. Who do you know? So the conversation is around, who do you know, right? So so Sherry's saying, I'm going to just share this. Who do you know, not how are we going to grow together? I mean, you could use either one. How are we going to grow together? I don't really even know you that well, right? So like, not you, but like if you're reconnecting with people, you may not really know them that well. Like, it's a little too soon to ask for a date, you know what I mean? Or a second date. I think just, how can we support each other? Right? Like, if you meet somebody at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, you're not going to say, hey, we met, we're BFFs now, let's grow together. You're going to say, hey, you're here, you're obviously looking to grow your business. How can I help you with that? Right? Who do I, what kinds of people are you looking to build, right? To build relationships with. Sherry's also saying, tell me what you're doing. Yeah. So Nikki, I'm going to put this on the screen. I trust that you're doing, I'm such a LinkedIn fan, Karen. It's my platform to be serious. Doing the She podcast, I so got the value of a good sound profile. That's what was such an asset for me, getting to know more people that I was connecting with. Yes, yes, yes. I got to stand up here, get above it, right? Yes, yes, yes. Right. Thanks for my help. It's invaluable. And she's only tapping into it. Yes. You guys all should be following Nikki, by the way. Nikki is an advocate for Alzheimer's. And I don't know about you, but it's certainly it impacts my family in many ways. And she's brilliant and she's helped me so much already. So follow Nikki, right? But here, she's right. She's right about the profile. So when you're reconnecting with people, Mary that you met at the conference 2 or 3 years ago, if Mary looks at your profile and it's just got dust bunnies running around on it, right? She's not really going to be all that interested in getting to know you. You want Mary to look at your profile and be like, wow, yes, I need to talk to her, right? And that's what happened with Nikki when she was connecting with people. And these were new connections. This wasn't the reconnecting. This was new connections at the conference. So, Imagine if you're diving into your existing network of people that you knew and they were like, wow, I never realized she was such a rock star, right? That's why we want you to do the profile work first, so that when you're reaching out to people, you're putting your best foot forward, right? You want to do your best job at that first impression, right? So yes, the profile is important. And then remember, there's gold in your existing network, it's not just finding new people, building. It's not about the numbers. It's about getting on the phone with these people. I mean, I don't know if you're listening and you're a coach. I can't even tell you how many times a week I hear from coaches, oh, I just need more discovery calls. How many do you want? How many do you want? Right. And I can get you on the phone with as many of them as you want on LinkedIn, but we're doing it in a warm way. We're not just pitching, and we're really looking to dive deep, to micro target and get on the phone with people. Like, listen, some of the people you get on the phone with from your network may not be clients, right? They probably are not clients, but maybe they can say, well, you know what? This organization is looking for a speaker. Maybe I can get you in front of this organization. Yes. Where do I sign? Right. Like, or maybe it's, you know what? I really need to introduce you to my brother, Joe. Joe needs this. I can't wait for you to meet him. Right. Now you've got a warm intro from Joe from his brother. Right. So don't go into those calls, these reconnection calls, like, I need to sell. Just go into these calls like, let's see how we can support each other. And by the way, if you can support them, by all means do that. Like, all right, Nikki and Sherry, I'm going to recommend that you two schedule a call with each other, because Sherry is an advocate for dysgraphia, which is I don't know, what would you call it? I guess it's like a disorder, right? It's like a learning disability. And Nikki, and there's probably maybe conversations you guys could have about how you can support each other, because Nikki is an advocate for Alzheimer's, right? So you don't know. I don't know where that conversation is going to go. I know Nikki's good at what she does. I know Sherry's good at what she does. I know they're both advocates for something that a particular part of the population has, not everybody, and maybe they'll have ideas for each other, right? So I highly recommend you guys connect and book a Zoom call. Nikki's in the UK. Sherry, I think you're in Pennsylvania, right? So you want to get on the phone with each other, because you don't know where those calls will go. Now that's a connection, not a reconnection, but this is me saying you guys should talk to each other. I don't know where that's going to go. Maybe they'll get on the phone for 10 minutes and go, oh, this is going nowhere. But you know what? You wasted 10 minutes, not the end of the day. But maybe there's real opportunity to support each other, to support your individual audiences, right? Maybe you can interview each other on a LinkedIn Live, right? And now you get in front of each other's audiences, so that's where doesn't that feel better than just pitching people on LinkedIn? Doesn't that feel better? So this reconnecting thing, I want you to do, and I'm kind of circling back around, because this is the beauty of when you're live and it's so much fun when there's people to talk to when you're live, right? And that are talking to you. But it can take you off a little side road, but I think it was a valuable side road, because it is all tied together. It's all tied together in that relationship building. Build the relationships. Dig into your LinkedIn network. My homework for you is to dig into your LinkedIn network and find, listen, maybe you spend an hour this week coming up with 20 names of people you are already connected to on LinkedIn that you want to reach out to, but don't reach out to them. Don't reach out to them yet. What I want you to do is drip that out. Come up with the 20 names. So you're doing the research all at once. You got that out of the way, right? And then every Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day you choose, reach out to 5 of those people. Reach out to 5 of them. And with just like Nikki and Sherry are on it. Nikki, these girls are on it. Nikki's already connected with Sherry. That's awesome. So just reach out to 5 people each week. Do the research up front, so you don't have a ton of time. You don't want to, if you have to, it batches it, right? Batch it. Do some research, batch it. Even if you come up with 50 people, then you have 10 weeks of reaching out to 5 people. And if of those 5 people, you can get on the phone with 2 or 3 of those people, holy moly, right? Think about what that opportunity is. So I don't know who this is. So you're gonna have to drop your name in. So you want to check your security settings, because we can't see who you are. If I've got over 500 contacts, reconnecting with all of them will take forever. Any tips for making it effective? Yes. You don't want all of them. You don't want to connect with all of them. You want you want to spend an hour or 2 doing research. Who are the 50 out of that 500 that are going to be valuable to you? You don't need to connect with all of them at all. at all. You want to micro target, do some research. Like, listen, my podcast is called Good Girls Get Rich. My LinkedIn strategy program is called She's Linked Up. So typically I speak in front of audiences of women, but I have private clients that are men. I don't care what your body parts are, how you identify to join my program. I just focus on supporting women because I feel like they feel unsupported on LinkedIn, right? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cherry pick for the women, right? And then from there, I'll look at who I think fits the profile of somebody that either has an audience of people similar to the audience that I serve, right? Or I think I can serve in my program, or is a newspaper reporter or a magazine writer or a journalist of someone, a podcast host, right? Maybe I want to interview them for my podcast, right? So you don't want to connect with all 500. You want to pick 5 a week. And honestly, you're going to be surprised at how easy it is to get on the phone with these people. And I don't want you to waste your time. The reality is I am busy. And that's not something I hang on. I'm not proud of that, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm busy. Y'all need to be busy. I don't want to be busier, right? I don't want to be busier. I'm trying to build more ease into my life, right? I'm trying to build more ease into my life. So if I do 5 of these a week and I can get on the phone with 2 or 3 of them, and one of those 2 or 3 people has an audience for me to speak to, that's a big success, right? That's a big success, because you know how much time people spend pitching themselves to podcasts, or how much money they spend on speaker agents and things like that, right? So, Alexa, turn off. I have no idea what that alarm's for, but there's an alarm going for something. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. And again, I don't know who this is, but check your security settings, because you probably have it so that people that are 2nd degree or 3rd degree can't see who you are. But I hope that makes sense. And if so, just dive in. You don't want to connect with, I have, I don't know how many, 20,000 connections. I mean, and only because I teach this stuff. I'm not looking to connect with all of them, right? I'm looking to see who are the people that I think can change my business, my life, and my bank account, right? Mark, I want people to value my network. I'm building an army of extraordinary people. Yes. Who will help me fulfill my dream of spreading Alzheimer's and change the world to save of brains from Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Nikki, did I tell you today how much I love you? This is such a great mission, and it's so needed in this world. So I'm guessing this LinkedIn user is Mark. So Mark, don't connect with all of them. Just connect with some of them. Okay. And just the ones that you think are going to bring you value. I mean, you don't have a big red cross on the front of your building. You don't need to serve everybody. You just want to, be strategic in who you get on the phone with. Reconnecting. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So if you want to learn a little bit about what it's like to get some support with all of this, like Nikki, and be killing it and rocking it and being 4th on the leaderboard of hundreds and hundreds of people at a conference with connections and interviews and things like that, let's chat. You can just book a call to get on my calendar at KarenYankovich.com/call. Happy to chat with you and see what it would look like to get some support. I can tell you about our program. I can tell you about what it's like to work with me privately, but more importantly, we're going to serve you, right? We're going to serve you. I want to know what's working in your business, what's not working. And if I think that there's something I can help you with, I'll tell you what that looks like. But either way, we're going to have a great conversation, and it'll bring you a lot of value. Let me see what here. Okay. So I guess Mark is saying thank you. You're welcome. If that is Mark that's saying that. Those of you that watching this on the replay, please, by all means, drop in your, comments here, and I'll get back to them. Nikki is the Mutual Admiration Society. So again, want to chat with me, KarenYankovich.com/call. Check out the podcast, KarenYankovich.com/181. And let's start reconnecting and get some money in the bank. So, what do you say? See you soon.